Today we're joined by Chris Liu, co-founder of Copy.ai and investor. Hey, Chris.
Hey, everyone.
So Copy.ai is a literal child, founded in 2020, right?
That's right.
And you guys make the bold statement that this product service is the end of writer's block. As per the website, it has automated creativity tools that help users generate copy in seconds, whether it be digital ad or website copy, social media or blog content, and much more. Copy.ai to me hones in on a human's most valuable asset, time. And you and your co-founder Paul tapped into this, in building Copy.ai. There were a few softwares that you uplifted as being crucial to you during your initial side projects. What were some of those again?
Yeah, they were like Figma, Notion, Slack, Stripe, Webflow, Firebase, just a whole host of tools that allowed us to get up and running really quickly.
So many of those are truly ride or dies for me, and I put Copy.ai right up there with those. But let's get into a few questions about the journey.
Let's do it.
Just going to address the elephant in the room. The first thing that comes to mind when both observing and trying Copy.ai's tools is, holy shit. When you think of artificial intelligence and automation, people tend to draw parallels to, tedious, robotic-like work that humans are currently stuck doing. But copywriting is still something that people tend to put in a more creative, human-centric category. Though when you think about it, and as someone who does it often, it can actually be both very tedious and robotic-like. But still, and again, I'm going on a tangent because I'm super passionate about this point, but knowing how much brain power can go into writing, an AI tool being able to do it well and faster is really intimidating. So to help people decipher the complementary human and AI artificial intelligence relationship here, can you elaborate on Copy.ai's messaging of helping people turbocharge their creativity?
When Paul and I were starting this company, everywhere you looked, it's like Black Mirror. AI was seen as this really dystopian force. And we realized it doesn't have to be that way. AI is what you make it to be. And so we set out to create a tool that will be able to empower every single person in the entire world to reach their creative potential. And what we notice is this unique insight that creativity is a reflection of yourself and your experiences. It allows you to see the world in a different perspective than everyone else, which allows you to create something completely new in the world. Now, when it comes to AI, though, AI has a breadth of knowledge that humans will never be able to match. It's read more of the internet than we would ever be able to read, even if you spent every single day reading. However, humans have lived a depth of knowledge that AI will never have as well. So instead, we see this as a collaborative effort. You as a human have judgment, you have a perspective, you have a lens in which you view the world. However, you can interact with this AI, which has a breadth of knowledge, and it allows you to curate the idea that the AI generates and then match it to what you and your perspectives are to help you get the ideas that are stuck in your head onto paper.
Okay, wow. I love that. Copy.ai notably acquired 2,000 users within the first 48 hours of launch, and within the first year, the platform grew to have 5,000 paying customers and over 380,000 people utilizing your tools. I believe that was announced just back in February, so recently. Aside from having a quality product, how has your team kept that momentum going, and what were some initial tests or moments that caused spikes in that user base?
Word of mouth has been very, very strong still. We actually went freemium in December, so now people are able to use the tool every single month, and they get a certain amount of credits. And yeah, momentum has kept going. I think a few weeks ago, we passed 1 million signups.
Wow.
So it's been absolutely incredible. Every once in a while, a video will go viral on TikTok about Copy.ai, and then we see a massive spike in traffic, and then it actually kind of keeps some momentum afterwards for a few days or a few weeks, and then it kind of flattens out again, but then it keeps spiking up and growing.
And your team has been pretty big on building in public, learning in public. How have you and your co-founder utilized that approach, and where has it taken you guys?
We were trying to tweet about our journey every single day. These days it's gotten a little crazy and a little bit busier, and the problems we face are a lot more niche, so it doesn't make as much sense, but we're still very open. So if you have questions, tweet at us on Twitter, and we're more than happy to give our perspective and answer any questions about our journey.
Retention is, of course, a huge topic right now and likely for the decade when it comes to work. But you got to have a quality team alongside you to scale, execute, and fulfill a vision this big, creating a world of entrepreneurship over the next decade and beyond. What's something that kind of blindsided you about people management, but that you're now thankful to understand, letting people vicariously live through you?
It's how to empower your teammates So it means you have to have really, really good onboarding and training practices, but then you have to set them up for success. And that means like they need to have all the context they need about the business. You need to be able to share that effectively, and you need to really be able to tell the story of like why we're doing what we're doing and why this affects the customer, and then how that changes how they implement it. That's actually a lot harder of a problem than we ever anticipated, but slowly but surely we're working our way through it.
And my last question, you've said that the best advice you got in the early days was to set up a yearly pricing plan. Do tell more about that. I find it very interesting.
If you're in it for the long run, I suggest you set up a yearly pricing plan, because that improves your retention. It gets you some additional cash up front. It's just really, really powerful of a tool. You can definitely have a pretty good discount. I think our discount's pretty massive if you do an annual plan versus a monthly plan. It's like, I think 2 free months or something along those lines. It's just really, really powerful when you are a little capital strapped early on, and you really need to have users stick around for a while. Those users are usually a little bit more engaged, and they're more willing to give feedback because they've invested a year's worth into your product, and they want to see it get better.
Did you know this early enough to utilize a pricing plan like right out of the gate, or was it a realization a few weeks or months into it?
We launched that first month in October, and then a friend of mine, his name's Jeff Chang. He's part of the Growth Eng blog, which he basically talks about all the growth engineering stuff. He DMs me on Twitter and is like, you have to launch an annual plan as soon as possible. So we did that in November. And that was unbelievably beneficial. We really thank him for that piece of advice. And to be honest, it's one of the most valuable pieces of advice we've gotten early in our startup.
Nice. The power of the Twitter DMs.
He's amazing. Yeah, he's not on Twitter enough.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And again, everyone, try out Copy.ai. Thanks, Chris.